Thanks for joining us here at the Garden in the Sky at Expo 2020 Dubai. I'm Sarah Forster, Deputy News Editor at The National. Thanks for joining us wherever you're watching from. Let us know in the comments. We always want to know where you're watching from. But we are here today to give you two things. One, a little bit more info, a little bit more chat on what's been going on here at Expo, and also a behind-the-scenes ride on, I should say flight really, because they call them flights, on the Garden in the Sky. So this is the sort of observation tower that they have here at Expo. I'll tell you a little bit more about it in a minute, but I'll just introduce one of our other Expo experts we have on the team here. This is reporter Nick Webster, who's been working on Expo for a long, long time, knows it inside and out, like most of our reporters do. So Nick, first of all, let's just talk a little bit about, actually, do you know what? I want to dive in with your experience of Expo so far, because I think people want to know, like, on the ground, people who have been here almost every single day since it started. What's your experience?
Well, the build-up was many years in the making. To actually see it as it is today was really exciting back in October. The Garden in the Sky is definitely one of the highlights. You get great vistas, great vision of how Expo looks in all its glory. And you get an idea of the scale as well, so we can have a look today and just see how it is today and how different it's going to look in a week's time when it all ends.
People can definitely hear how busy it is down here today. I'll tell you, when I arrived at around midday, and one of the parking lots was actually completely full, so that is just how busy it is here in the last day. It's 6 days left of Expo, so if you can get down here, I would get down here, but obviously many people can't, and that's probably why you're joining us on the Facebook Live. Like I said, let us know where you're listening from. We always have really interesting places people are listening from, like Uganda, Namibia, Pakistan, India. Like, we want to know. So, obviously, this has been a huge draw for the last 6 months, not just for everyday people like you and me, but also we've had some royal names. We've had some big names come. Tell me a bit more about who's graced the soil of Expo.
Yeah, I think some of the visitors have really sort of given this event gravitas and sort of raised the profile. I mean, we've had royalty from all over the world. Yeah, the King and Queen of Belgium, Philippe and Mathilde, they were here. King and Queen of Sweden are here, and of course Prince William is here as well. He had the full tour of the whole site. So those kind of visitors really sort of put Expo on the map, I guess, and got a lot of eyes on what was happening here during the last 6 months.
I remember especially when Prince William was here, that drew a huge crowd. He actually went to Abu Dhabi first. He did a little tour there of the mangroves. He came here. A big theme of his visit was sustainability. He gave a lovely speech in the. We're going to go upstairs. DP World Pavilion, about various ecological startups that he's been supporting. So you're just going to follow me up the stairs here. It is hot today, but just for our viewers and our loyal readers, we're going to go upstairs so you can see the true view of what Expo has to offer. Of course, to begin with, you do just sort of come out on ground level.
Start blinking.
Nothing quite spectacular yet, but just give it a minute and we will be 55 meters up in the sky, and it'll really be something to watch. As you can see, it's called the Garden in the Sky because we are surrounded by trees and lovely flower beds in the middle. And if you come here at night especially, it's really quite beautiful. It's all lit up. Definitely one of the jewels in the crown that Expo has. So we were talking about dignitaries, royals that have graced the grounds of Expo. Of course, visitors themselves have been making a name for themselves. A few of them have achieved some quite spectacular things. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's been almost, super fans have been a real story of Expo. People collecting passport stamps, people collecting pin badges. Even when you're waiting in the queue for these kind of attractions here at Expo, you see people asking about their badges, security staff, people working on these exhibitions and saying, look, can we swap badges? So it's become a real industry almost of collecting these things, these keepsakes for the future, which has been really nice. And again, some of the visitors that have come again and again and again, they've handed out trophies to people who've been here for 75 times, I think, and I think the top 50 visitors were all given mementos for their time here at Expo. So we've seen this real emergence of the superfan at Expo, and I'm sure that will continue for other exhibitions into the future. Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. There's actually, if you don't know about it yet, there's the white passport that you can get. If you have 100 stamps in your passport, oh, we're off. Let's head just to the edge here. So you can get a good, so it's both rising and spinning at the same time to make sure you get a good 360 view. Yeah, a lot of visitors here have been collecting the badges, they've been getting the stamps. You can check it all out on our website. We have stories about the Expo loyal visitors. They were all given a nice little trophy for their dedication. But let's talk about what we're here to talk about, which is what's going to happen when Expo finishes. One aspect is the businesses that are going to be here. So elaborate on that for us, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, this place will look very different in just a week's time. I think 85% of the pavilions will be staying here in some capacity. They'll become hubs for technology and small businesses and startups. A few of the pavilions are going to be permanent. I think India's staying, UAE is staying, and Saudi Arabia is also staying. That was a big success of the last 6 months. It's won several awards and been very well noted and very well visited. I think 5 million people have visited the Saudi pavilion, so that's been a huge win here. And they're trying to get 85 startup businesses to operate from the Expo site, alongside some big business such as DP World is going to have a base here, as will Siemens, and also Terminus, which is a Chinese technology firm which has helped build these beautiful 150 orange robots that are buzzing around the site, which you've probably seen, and they've really added some character to the whole festivities here, doing their flash mob dancing and sort of, really sort of engaging with the young people and the kids in particular. They've been a big win of Expo, I think.
Opti is definitely popular with the kids, and I'm just going to show you, our cameraman Mahmoud is giving you a glorious panoramic vision here. You can see probably just to the left now the Alif Pavilion, which is the anchor pavilion for the mobility district. That is one of the ones that is going to be staying. If you look down now, you can see the Ireland Pavilion, Malaysia, Hungary, and we are just spinning around now to the Jubilee stage, which I believe is where Jason Derulo is going to be performing tonight. And that might explain the crowd of people that you can already see. That's a loyal fan for you there, isn't it, Nick?
It's
it's 20 to 4, and they have bagged their front row seats. So you can see there, we're just spinning around the Philippines Pavilion, Venezuela. This is Kuwait, the golden one you can see, and then the giant solar panel one is Terra, which is the sustainability pavilion. Which is completely net zero. It makes all of the energy that it uses, which is obviously the sustainability a huge factor for this Expo.
Yeah, and that will become a children's science centre once Expo finishes next week. So that's going to be one of the pavilions that's going to be staying here for the legacy of this area. The other pavilions you mentioned there, mobility and opportunity, will also be staying here permanently. And again, sustainability has been a big aspect of Expo. We've had lots of topics, lots of talks on water conservation, on clean energy, and the UK is going to be opening up a research hub into hydrogen power here as well once Expo finishes. So there's going to be lots of new things going forward, which we'll hear more about next week, I guess, at the World Government Summit, which is going to be here. Different. I mean, these are going to be people's homes going forward. I mean, there's going to be around about 145,000 people living here eventually. It's going to be one of Dubai's first 15-minute cities where you can cycle from one side to the other, and it's all very accessible. Very little traffic on the roads, movement for autonomous vehicles as well. So it's going to be an exciting, modern part of Dubai where people can come and live and work and have everything they need on their doorstep. At the moment, there's 3,500 rooms, I should say, for people to live here at the moment, but that is going to increase dramatically over the next months and years until it will become a city in its own right almost.
Yeah, so we'll just focus in. It's very windy up here. I did tell you we're 55 meters up in the sky, and we can feel it. Let's see, so cameraman Mahmoud is just showing you the Al Wazl Plaza, another feature that's going to be staying here after Expo moves on. It's the largest projection screen in the world, and would be an absolute shame to tear it down. So yeah, I mean, if you feel like, oh, I've been out of Dubai for the last 6 months, I didn't manage to catch any of it, don't worry. The water feature, Al Wazl Dome, the Sky Garden that we're on right now, you'll have a chance to come and get on it, because these features are not going anywhere. But that's the end of our flight. I think we're coming now down to the bottom. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Nick, about the future of the Expo site?
I just think it's people don't realise how green it is. I know we're in the middle of the desert here, but this place will look vastly different. There's going to be lots of green space, lots of parks. We have some parks, you've seen them here today from the aerial view, but this place will look very different, and it's going to have that idea of new ideas, new research about sustainability going forward. And that's a big message from Expo, I think. How can we look to protect the environment and move forward with new ideas on sustainability and clean energy, this kind of thing. That's been a real common theme, I think, during Expo.
It has been. So that's the end of our flight. I'm pretty sure we're not allowed to stay on and have another one. So thank you so much for joining us, and stay tuned for the next Facebook Live.